So, any ideas what this guy should be doing? Add the menu item. So someone says, object, do this for me. Set clock, right? So we get a string named item on the class side, right? We get this string item. So we need to save it where? In our menu list, right? So menu list. There should be a ton of methods to add data. One of them is add, right? Just say add this item, and the kind of prompts me for item already. So I think that's all I need to do there. Okay. By the way, since I would like to have this user menu be responsible for both displaying information and interacting with the user, what I will do here is that it'll also, so that I don't have to create another class, I'll just keep all this user interaction specific business in my user menu. Perhaps I will also create here a scanner. Scanner sc equals new scanner. You know what? Let's just do this in the constructor. Scanner equals new. So once the constructor is invoked, we'll say new, new, new. We'll create everything. New scanner, right? And this time we need to specify what the input stream is. System.in. Okay, and by the way, just a reminder that strings, of course, strings, just like menu header, are objects, and therefore remember that saying something like this, menu header equals empty string, it's not like it's a null object. Empty string is a real string object, which simply has no characters. Its length is 0, but it's a fully featured object. That's observation number 1. Observation number 2, saying something like menu header equals empty string is exactly the same as saying new string and constructed from, even like use the default constructor, right? But also you can specify empty string. It's the same thing. But just a reminder that string equals quote unquote, empty string is the same as saying new string. All right, so scanner, we'll just try to fix our imports one more time as a util.scanner. That works, right? So that's helpful. And you know what? Instead of just saying to do, now I can say what I just said a minute ago. Say class responsible for both input and output, both input and output. How about both screen input and output and all interaction and all direct interaction with the user. Okay, so just to clarify, right, that this is going to be both input and output. All this work is going to be done here, and that's why we need a scanner. All right. Some other helpful methods here would be probably, I was actually thinking about maybe a helpful operation could be something simple as a pause, right? Just how about this? Void pause, just to have a pause. Like, remember we said, please please hit enter to continue, right? So void. So how about public void pause? doesn't do anything but something like this. Takes a string as a prompt, right? Takes some prompt and says system dot out dot print. Just print this prompt, right? Print it, and then say scanner dot next line, so that they really these people, when using the system, they will have to hit enter to continue after that prompt. So pause could be helpful. I can call it from anywhere I want. Just say this and wait. There's no input. Just hit enter. I get an empty line from this next line, and I will totally ignore it. Right? So some sort of pause, which may be also overloaded pause, such as this, right? So if I also have an overloaded version of it, I could say pause without anything. This time I will simply say, let's do a version of pause with press enter to continue. Something like that, right? So if pause is invoked without any parameters, then just call this pause with just press enter to continue. All right, so that's useful. Since I would like to be interacting with the user, I would like to do something like this. I would like to be able to get a string from them. Get a string. How about this? I would like to be able to get a word, like one word, type something without spaces, right? I would also like to be able to say get line, something like that. And I also would like to be able to get an int, so that, if I need to ask for a number, I'll say get int. How about these guys? All right, so all of them are, this one is public. Public returns a string. Get word, and right away I could use a prompt. String prompt. Right? Why not? And so they will enter something, and I will return this. So let's see. First of all, string temp equals scanner. Get word means next, right? Word without spaces, right? So we can annotate this by saying get one word of text from the user with no spaces. But guess what? So I can just say temp next, right? But guess what? Most likely they've hit an enter at the end of it. Since I'm working with the console application, I will do this sort of like a compromise again, and will routinely say next line, right? Routinely say next line. So type a word, if they somehow type more than one word, I will simply ignore it and take the first word, but make sure I say next line, so that I eat up the carriage return and line feed, whatever was typed at the end of the line. So my input is brand new empty input to continue on with the rest of an application. So I'll be using this a lot. Like just next line, make sure I eat that carriage return and line feed after getting something. All right, and then I will say return temp, right? So this word I get from them, then I say next line, and then then I return what they just typed, the first word. Hopefully, it'll be what they type most of the time, just one word. But if they type multiple words, this will kind of lose them. They will be processed and thrown away because I don't get anything back from my next line statement. All right, so just kind of a little trick to simplify interaction on the using console keyboard input. Oh, by the way, I also need to print my prompt, right? So here's the prompt, get input, go on. All right, next line is somewhat similar to this, right? Same thing. Next line returns the whole line from them. Same thing again. Let me just copy this whole bunch of lines over. Right, so get line, another method that I'd like to have. Print prompt, and then say next line. So this time I don't need to do anything but just give me the line of text, right? And so it becomes somewhat redundant to say string temp, return temp. I don't need to do this. So I'll just say return, right? Just say return. I suppose this should work. Just like no matter what, get next line of input from them and take it from them. And if typically in your mind something that says get line makes perfect sense, but in some cases it may be even misleading, so we need to annotate this a little bit. Again, let me save this chunk since I'm forgetting to save it.